were bankrupt at the time of Only 16. That was right after that. Only 16 was one of about 5 or 6 tracks that Ron Hafkin, our producer, and the band pooled our money together and went to Chinatown in San Francisco.
I went to Chinatown.
And made... Yeah, we cut those 5 things just to keep feeling like a band and a producer. And Only 16 took how long? An hour and a half?
Yeah, 2 or 3 hours.
Just to cut the thing and put it down.
The reason for that, though, we had been playing Only 16 in the bars. Like, it was one of our bar songs.
Sam Cooke.
The way that it came about. And Dennis did a lot of Bee Gees songs back then, too. But the way it came about...
They don't need us doing them anymore.
The way it came about was this leather patch. I wear a little surgical patch underneath there, and it tears, and when, like if I'm on stage too long, I have to leave and go change this little patch underneath here, and I tell Dennis, I've got to go change my patch, sing something, and that's been going on for 10 years, ever since I've known him, and that happened, I think it was in Copenhagen.
Everything seems to happen in Copenhagen.
I think it was in Copenhagen, and I had to go change my patch, and I turned and said, Dennis, sing song, and I split. And from the dressing room, I heard he did Only 16, and it got a great response.
People thought of it as not a ballad so much as
it was the way he looked. The way he looked at that time. His beard was down to here.
I spent my whole childhood as my own grandfather.
So we just kept doing it. We said, leave it in. It's good. And so we kept doing it, and Ronnie heard it, and he said, let's record it. And it was very easy to record because we'd done it so many times.
I myself first heard his records at a party, some crazy records about the Mermaid or Bury Me in My Shade, some old albums of Shel. And then when we first met Shel, we met him through Ron Hafkin, our producer. It's strange, Ronnie ain't here. He was sick. We wanted him to be here. We wanted to drag him here with us because he's sort of the guy in the middle of everything. We would have never understood Shel had it not been for Ronnie. Ronnie was friends with Shel for about 12 years before we met either of them, and they were doing a movie together. Ronnie was the musical director, and Shel had written the score. Who was Harry Kellerman, and why is he saying those terrible things about me? And they were looking for an unknown group.
And we was really
we maintained that image, too, for about 3 years after that. And that's how we met Shel.
Red-Winged Blackbird. That was a song off of a solo album.
That your doctor wrote.
Right, that my doctor wrote. That's really true. Joel Jaffe is my doctor and my songwriter. No, he wrote 4 songs on my solo album. I put out a country album because it's just something that I wanted to do. I'd wanted to do all my life. And went into Nashville and used all the Nashville musicians and just made a country album. And Joel wrote Red-Winged Blackbird and 3 more songs on the album, but that's the way.
Well, Joel is the doctor that saved Ray's life a couple of years ago.
Actually did save my life. I was, like I said, I don't know, I did say before, but I was in a car wreck, in an automobile accident, and I had terrible headaches, and it went on for 3 or 4 years, a long time with these headaches, and I had gone to all the doctors that I could find all over the place, all over the United States. And nobody seemed to be able to help me, and so we went to California. At that time, that's when we moved the band from New York to California. And we went to Oakland, and there was 2 hippie doctors with hair down to here. This was 7 years ago, and had it tied back, and I had never seen a doctor like that before, And so I went in. I had never seen many doctors, being from Alabama. But anyway, I went in, and it was Joel. And Joel said that he had to operate on my head here, and he did. And saved my life, really. He said that I would have been dead or something bad would have happened.
And he wrote that song on Ray's forehead.
With his scalpel.
I had to say that.
Can I have that beer?
Well, I think one of the most satisfying things about our band is that when we play to audiences, they're not... it's not a whole audience of just cowboys, a whole audience of red freaks, a whole audience of grandmothers, you know what I mean? It's everybody's in there. Cowboy red freaks come with their grandmothers, And the best thing is when you get a little old lady over here yelling for "Get My Rocks Off" or "Freaker's Ball" and some bikers screaming for Only 16. Then you know that you're sort of bridging it, And I guess you can have it all.
Yeah.
I guess we want it all. I know it's like putting salt on your ice cream, I mean, our next album is called Pleasure and Pain, and we're going directly for that because some of it is funky and some of it is ballads.
Well, as a matter of fact, in the very beginning, Dennis, from Sylvia's mother, we had a choice to go and do another ballad. As a matter of fact, we had a ballad that would have followed it up, a thing entitled The Things I Didn't Say, which I should have said. Maybe I could have got Sylvia, you know. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was a perfect second song, but we chose not to go that way. We chose to go cover Rolling Stone, and we had no idea we'd get any airplay on it. But that's definitely FM, so you went from one to the other right there. The reason we did that was for the image. We didn't want to be labeled as Sylvia's mother and for people to think that that's what they was going to hear when they came. And well, that's all they was going to hear. Well, that's part of it, too, though. You know, the Sylvia's mother, and plus we wanted them to know that cover Rolling Stone and Freaker's Ball was there, too.
Yeah, we didn't want to have like a string of 4 big hits, formula hits, and then we would have been over 6 years ago. You know, we have too much energy. I mean, we've been on the road 300 days a year for 8 years, so we obviously are too, obviously too hyperactive to want to have been over 6 years ago, you know.
All right, we'd like to do one little thing now that we must say something to you before we leave. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. You'll wake up on a bluebird and be wishing on the moon. Them damn midgets. Hold it.
This is good practice. This is like an Army IQ test.
Funding for Soundstage has been provided by this station and by other public television stations.